Now, I think I shared something similar a little while back because this is an older interview here, but I think it's just before the Genius Act came out. Now, it's been out since, but we still haven't gotten the Clarity Act yet. And here, Charles Hoskinson, he's the guy who is a co-founder of Ethereum, and he's a founder of Cardano ADA. Smart guy, working a lot more with Ripple these days, is discussing what impact companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and others will have on the digital asset space, because they can put, Apple, especially Apple, right? So they can put wallets on their products, like the phones, the computers, and whatnot, their social media access points, their business platform tools, like what Microsoft has. So their accounts, right? The My Microsoft account, the Safari, the browsers. You can put wallets on any of that stuff. And depending on who they decide is going to be available in their wallets, they can be kingmakers to a certain degree. Now here, Charles Hoskinson says Microsoft's going to come in, Google's going to come in. They have 3.5 billion users. They can put a wallet in Android. They can put a wallet in Windows. Suddenly, they're kingmakers of the on and off ramps. And I guess they just re-showed that episode over on CoinDesk, I think. Because it's true. That's exactly what's going to happen. If it's easily accessible, if you don't have to think about it, real user friendly, that's where most of the people are going to be driven to, right? They're going to be herded into those platforms. That's why banks are just running around trying to, or scrambling basically, to get an app set up that is user friendly. But at the end of the day, I think what's going to happen is most of us are going to use platforms that are real easy for us. They may not even be, they may be connectable to our banks, but they may not be directly from our banks. I think something like that might end up being what happens. And only because it provides more flexibility and more security, more autonomy from your bank, because, well, banks haven't been too friendly to consumers. They're not really good about allowing us access to our own money. That's been a big issue in recent years. If you have a different political opinion, that's been difficult. They've debanked a lot of people over the years. And for a few years in the early days of crypto, if you wanted to buy crypto, they wouldn't even let you use your own debit card money to buy crypto. I was one of those people. And I banked with Capital One at that time. And they wouldn't let me, so I switched. I said, heck, man, it's my own money. What do you mean it's unsafe? I know it's safe. I'm okay with it. And they said, well, that's just the way it is. That was the customer service guy at Capital One. He was a real ass, actually. And I was talking to him just like I always talk to you guys here. And I was just stunned that he just didn't care what my opinion was about my own money, that I was upset about it, didn't care that I was confident in what I was doing, and this is what I wanted to do. Didn't matter. He just said, no, you don't get to use your debit card. I'm like, okay. Well, I switched to somebody else and I got to use it. It took me about 3 days or so, but I got it done and haven't looked back. These are the kinds of things you need to look out for, because, I'm not sure what these banks were thinking that they think they could tell you, but I know they didn't want crypto to come on as quickly and the way that it did. They wanted to have more of a control of it over a system that they could control themselves, Ethereum. And I think to a certain degree, Solana is one of those blockchains that are very friendly to them in the sense that they have a lot of control, a lot of walled gardens. And I don't like that. I like flexibility. I like controlling my own money. So I like the idea of earning yield on my money without having to go to a bank. I don't mind controlling a lot of that from my phone, but we do need to find ways to do it safely and securely. We're not there yet. The Clarity Act will definitely be something that's going to help perpetuate the adoption of digital assets. But we've got a long way to go on security and user friendliness, right? A lot of that's not there. It's not that easy just yet. I was just talking to a friend earlier today about swapping a coin out on the Coinbase app and going on the Base wallet, going over to the Coinbase, buying something, and then from there deciding to use the cold storage wallet for herself. And you got to talk people through these things sometimes. She just happens to know that I know a few things about this, and we're old friends, so she feels very comfortable giving me a buzz, and so she did. And I'm happy to help where I can. But her investment decisions are her own, as they should be. And she's just about as excited as I am. Maybe not as much because she doesn't know about the details as much as I do, but but she's definitely an early investor. She was interested a few years back, and she's been pretty consistent and steadfast with her portfolio, as are many people that I know these days. But if banks don't cooperate with us, you know what? The tech people will come over and they're going to tell us pretty much what's available. And if the banks don't watch it, these are going to be the new banks. That's what's going to happen. And it happened with a lot of other things with respect. That's why the FANG stocks got so popular. So the banks better watch it. They can be, we can have a new version of banks, I think is what might happen. So we'll see, because remember, Ripple applied for their banking charter with the OCC and the Fed Master account. If they get approved, they will be the first tech company that becomes a bank. We're really at the doorstep of it. So we'll see. Anyhow, check out the video, listen to what Charles has to say. He's always very interesting to listen to, but he's right and poignant. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time.
Now that the regulation's moving the right direction, when you look at the Genius Act, the Clarity Act soon to come, all the big guys are going to come in, not just the big banks, but also the Mag 7. So Microsoft's going to come in, Google's going to come in, Amazon's going to come in. All these companies are experimenting with blockchain technology. Google even built its own blockchain based on Starkware. So all these people have this amazing technology. They have no incentive to go boost Ethereum or deploy on Ethereum. They can be Ethereum adjacent or gather liquidity, but they own the users. They have 3.5 billion users when you look at where they sit. So they can put a wallet in Android, they can put a wallet in Windows, they can put a wallet on their platforms. And when and where they do that, suddenly they're kind of kingmakers of the on and off ramps, and they're probably going to do something in a different direction. So it's not to say they couldn't potentially find a future in all of this, but it's hard to manage that type of monopoly when you have all these forces changing. It kind of feels like a Yahoo, or it kind of feels like a BlackBerry, where you're good until the paradigm changes. And then when the paradigm changes, you collapse.